Well, here's the record you broke. You broke the all-time record for the largest gathering of trailer park trash The Rock has ever seen.
Where it was 10.8 million viewers. Okay. So as you continue to go year after year after year after year, the numbers, start to, wane and, go down a little. They start to go down a little. Back in 2011, I believe that was the year when LeBron made that decision to go to Miami. The ratings went back up to 9.1 million. Like this thing is so freaking annoying. But then it goes down again, then it goes up again, then it starts going down. But as you continue to go further along, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, now you go to 2023. Now this is just last year. 2023 was last year, which is the far worst ratings from what the article is saying of all time. This year, just passed, we have 5.5, which is the second worst of NBA history. Now let me say this.
Wait, can I ask you a question?
Did
the ratings go up?
Yeah, it's still the second worst.
Did the ratings go up?
It's still the second worst.
Did the ratings go up?
That doesn't matter.
No, it does matter.
No, it doesn't, because it's awful. This is terrible.
No.
What do you mean no?
The ratings went up.
Is it good? Is 5.5 good ratings?
I have no idea.
Oh no. I'll answer the question for you. No. The answer is no.
But here, okay, Steve. Here's the thing, right? If the rating had continued to go down, let's say if it went from 4.6 to 4.4, then I can somewhat understand where you're coming from. But the ratings went up. And furthermore, I would argue that over the past 4, 5, 6 years, right? The ratings are indicative of what's going on with TV in general. Right? As people cut the cord, people watch stuff differently than they used to. Back in the day, it really all you really had was cable. That was it. Okay. Or at least in this case, because the game for the longest time has always been on TNT. So we'll stick to that metric, right? So the game. But here's the thing, right? You tell me, oh, the game used to be competitive back when we were younger.
Yes,
now not so much.
Stand by that.
But here's the problem. You went from 2003, almost 11 million viewers, all the way down to 8 million viewers in 1 year. Right? We don't know if the game was competitive or not, because I maintain that no one actually gives a damn about the All-Star game. No one cares. There are very few memories that conjure up from those games. Very few. Right? But you see the rating keep going down as guys like Kobe Bryant and all those competitive guys that you always like to talk about, they're playing in these games. Right?
Yeah, Kobe Bryant, Kevin Garnett, CP3, yes.
Yeah. Yes. And these so-called competitive games, the ratings keep sliding. Then you get a minor bump, then it slides again. Then you get a big bump. I don't know what 2011. I think that's you said that was the decision, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but you had a big bump right there. But ever since then, it hasn't reached those numbers.
You don't think so? Because I think once he made that decision, that was a big deal. And the huge rivalry. Yeah, with the huge rivalry with him, in Boston. Yeah, I think that had. I'm not saying that was the full reason why it went up to 9 million, but I do think that had something to do with it. I think it was a factor.
I mean, it is what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that I'm trying to explain,
to
you, is that ultimately the ratings by and large have gone down, right? But you're saying, oh, well, you're saying that you're right, but you're not right because the ratings went up from last year. And according to the article I have, because I knew you were gonna try to pull this BS on me. I was trying to figure out if you were gonna say that I was right or you're wrong, or I thought you were just gonna go, you're gonna be like, oh well, you know, I might have been wrong here, but you didn't do that. But it said that, you know, a year after record low viewership last year, the game saw a 14% increase in viewership with 5.5 million viewers and a 20% increase of 11.6 million unique viewers watched the East beat the West 211 to 186. Right? So what they mean by unique viewers is like people who watched it, you know, through their phones, through, you know, streaming, all other streaming apps like Roku or whatever, you know. So again, I'm not saying that the game is going to go back to where it is. I don't think it's never going to go back to where it is. It's just not.
Right.
Because part of the reason why, and I was listening to a podcast talking about it, and it's just that, you know, like, to me, you see these guys play all the time. You like before, it was rare to see guys like let's say if you're living in Golden State, right? Let's say you're living in that area, right? You know, you didn't have League Pass back then. All you really had was, if you had a satellite dish, you can watch these games. If not, then you really couldn't. All you had was newspapers, stuff like that. As the game becomes more accessible, the idea of, you know, watching these guys play, I mean, frankly, a meaningless basketball game is not going to drive ratings. It's just not. Like, maybe if they tried harder, maybe it might spark some interest, but I don't think it does. Because at the end of the day,
say that again. You don't think it does what now?
I don't think them being competitive is going to drive ratings to the point where it's going to get, like, you know, millions upon millions of views. I just don't think so. At least not for an exhibition game. And I think guys realize that.
When you say guys, you mean the NBA players?
Yeah.
And you think you believe that even if what you're saying is true, you believe that actually helps the product? I don't think so.
I mean, it depends, because like I said, you and everyone else keep talking about how the All-Star game was dog shit, but the ratings went up.
It was crap. And it was so garbage to you that you didn't even bother watching not one quarter of it.
Yeah, but the ratings went up. That's the thing. The ratings went up. And again, I don't know if it's gonna go up next year. I don't know if it's gonna go up next year. It likely will go down. But, you know, I'm looking at this graph and you know, ever since 2003, it hasn't even come close to it. And I know you sprinkled in some competitive games here over the past couple of years. I know you have. I know we've seen some.
Like, well, I mean, after 2000 and let me see. I think after 2000 and I would argue like 2012 or 13. I think that's when it really starting to be an issue where the players didn't really care at all anymore.
I guess, but the biggest drop off that I see here is 2003 to 2004. That's the biggest drop off.
2003 to 2004. Okay. And
then ultimately,
well, I would say 2011 and 12 is probably the biggest one.
Let's see, 11 and 12. $2 million. Yeah, $2 million. $2 million viewership drop off. No. The 0304 is worse.
Okay, by a little bit. I see it. Yeah, by a little bit.
But like, you know, like I to me, I just look at it like, I guess viewership nowadays, they look at it like, oh well, you know, I get to see my player in the All-Star game. Now it's like, I mean, I don't think fans of the NBA teams care that much. Like me personally, I didn't care because I know Bam Adebayo was in the All-Star game.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't do much, but even when Dwayne Wade won MVP, I didn't even watch the game. And he won, and he's my favorite basketball player of all time, and I did not watch.
Dwayne Wade?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You talking about his last year being in the
the last year I watched that.
Okay,
that was special. But when he won MVP, I think it was 2009 when he won MVP in Dallas. I didn't watch the game. I didn't watch the game because all these times, if I have nothing better to do, then I'll watch it. But if I have something better to do, then I'm not gonna watch it. I'm not gonna waste my time. Because at the end of the day, no matter who's in the game, at the end of the day, it's a meaningless game. Like I said last week.
But even if you feel that way, it's still a game where you don't see multiple superstars. Like it's a one in a lifetime experience for basketball fans to see the top tier guys going head to head with one another. You don't see that in a basketball game because typically each team will have probably one, maybe two elite stars per team. At least the best one. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, like Boston and the Nuggets and things like that. So you usually typically won't have 4 or 5 elite guys going head to head with one another. You only see that in the All-Star game.
I understand that, but if they're not trying, then what's the point?
And that is why I said, even if what you're saying is correct, it still doesn't help the product. It still doesn't overall help the product. All it will do is just cause a huge disdain to the product, to where people are not going to watch, and people are just gonna say, well, I'm just gonna do something else and not waste my time invest, whether it's buying tickets or investing time watching it on TV. People are just not going to do that. And the ratings, they show it now.
No, they don't. That's what I'm trying to get to your head. They don't show that.
They show it. 5.5 is bad. 4.6 is bad.
No. We're not doing it.
We are doing it because.
What in your opinion? What is bad? What is bad in your opinion?
What's a bad rating?
Mm-hmm.
What I'm seeing here, to have a huge event like an All-Star game, where, like you said, when it comes to All-Stars, there is like a popularity contest, unfortunately, like you had said, right? You also said it's a time where they're just not elite stars, but they're pretty much celebrities. You said that also. And a lot of people agree with you when it comes to that. And when they all come together, you could only generate 4.6 and 5.5 in recent years. To me, that's terrible. That's terrible to me.
So you're telling me that going from 10.8 to 8.2, that's not terrible?
But at least 8.2 people are still watching.
All right, but no, that's what you. This is why I don't like what you do. You're trying to say that the rating, just because it's you put an arbitrary number into what a great rating is, when you have no idea what the NBA considers a great rating. You have no idea. All I know is that when you have a major drop off from year after year, that's not good. That's not good. But if you have an increase, that's obviously better than last year. That's obviously better than last year. Like, this is a $1 million increase, a 1 million viewer increase from last year.
Okay.
Yeah, and I get it. These are the 2 worst years for the All-Star game, but people watch the game differently now. People do. And maybe part of the reason why the viewership is low because the players don't try. I'm not saying what you're saying is completely wrong. What you're trying to say.
Yes, it sounds like it, but go ahead.
No, what you're trying to say is that you're trying to conflate these 2 ratings together as if they're bad. When I'm telling you that the game increased by over 1 million viewers. When you're saying, oh, nobody's watching, there's more people watching than last year. And what if the rating go up even more next year?
I doubt that. You
No, no.
you would not put money on that one. I guarantee you, it's not going to go up.
All right, would you have thought it would have gone up after last year's game? 'Cause remember, you complained about last year's game also.
Of course, a lot of people did.
I guarantee you would have thought that the rating was going to continue to go lower and lower, but that didn't happen.
I thought it was probably either going to go lower or just stay stagnant. You know what I'm saying?
But that did not happen.
No, it didn't happen. But still, to have 5.5 is nothing to celebrate about.
Right, but what's the line of demarcation then? Well, how much should the All-Star game be? How many people should be watching the All-Star game?
When it comes to having elite players playing together, you should have a lot of people watching the game. It should to me, it should be nearly the same amount as you watching a playoff game.
What?
Yes.
Steve, even no. Yes. Absolutely not.
Yes.
Absolutely not.
Yes. Again, this is a one in a lifetime event. It only happens once every season, where you have the top guys playing
that makes together. What you just said make no sense. Once in a lifetime and once in a year are not the same.
Well, you know what I'm. Well, when I mean one in a lifetime, like
the dream team is once in a lifetime. This is once a year, annually.
Once a year. That's fine. Once a year.
And the playoffs will always be should always have more viewership because those are the games that actually matter the most.
Okay, but when you are having a celebration and you're celebrating a league, you're celebrating these players, you're hyping up the whole entire, and during the whole All-Star break for a whole week. You're hyping it up. All the you being sponsored by all these companies. You would expect majority of the people who enjoy basketball to watch the game. So yes, that's why I said it should have similar ratings to an NBA playoff game. Absolutely. If you are a huge fan of basketball and you're seeing LeBron James in the same court with Steph, in the same court with KD, in the same court with Tatum and Joker and all these other guys, and Jaylen Brown and Joel Embiid, all in one court together, you should expect ratings to be high.